All right, everybody, welcome to the Five Kings Motorsports YouTube channel, Five Kings Network Facebook page. I'm host Tanner Marr tonight, bringing you the Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear Truck Series. This is the start of the round of 8. We're playoff racing tonight. Gander Outdoor Truck Series C Class at Michigan International Speedway. This is going to be a doozy of a night here. These trucks are perfect. They're a perfect combo for this style of track. Going to be almost wide open here tonight. We're seeing William Griffith go around for his qualifying laps now. Going to see what he can do this lap around. If we just have Mike Veith in the number 9 Chevy Silverado go top of the board. See what William Griffith or Seth Griffith can do. A little bit slower that time by with a 40.63. I want to apologize. We got on here a little bit late. We had a broadcast link that was set up for Facebook for when we went live tonight, and Facebook failed me. And, well, nonetheless, we're still here now, though. So, had to scramble a little bit. Normally, I like to go live about 5 minutes before qualifying starts. That way to give me a little bit of buffer to talk about some stuff as we're leading into qual, but ultimately wasn't able to do that. We just have Paul Cox put it up top of the board a couple tenths faster than the rest of his competition right now. Went top of the board with a 40.16. He was really fast last week. The driver there, number 72 in that cookie time machine, was looking really strong last week out of Last Chance Racing. See what he's able to do the second time by. That time by Mr. Cox, he's going to be, as he's coming out of turn 4 here, that 72, he's going to drive it all the way down to the apron. Try to cut that track as small as you can make it. Just a tenth slower than his fastest lap, but still, at 40.16, that's P1 on the board right now. We have Kyle Roberts out. Kyle Roberts has already done a lap. He's currently sitting P6 out of the guys that have elected to take a qual lap thus far. Then we got Christopher Heiner coming around for lap number 1 here. Christopher Heiner in that number 24 Chevy Silverado. It's got the Kevin Harvick paint scheme from like the new days whenever he first came into RCR stable. Just took the green flag for lap number 1. Going to see what he's able to do. Michigan. This is a fun track right here. I really enjoy this track. It's more difficult than what it looks like, just because the draft in these trucks, the way the dirty air works, clean air is always an advantage. So if you're the leader, you feel good, but you can never feel too good because you got the guys behind you getting so much draft help. And that draft, I mean, you get 10 miles per hour faster just because you're following somebody. And that time by Christopher Heiner went with a 40-34. That's going to put him 6 on the board, not William Griffin, that 12 machine, down 1 time to P7. Paul Cox is still the man at the top of the board. We got Josh Lokovitz, Eric Burkhalter, and Chris McLean out on track right now, trying to see what these drivers can lay down. That number 5 machine out of Poleman Motorsports, looking really good. Let's see what Mr. McLean is able to do. I'm not sure if this is his out lap or what. And then after this, I want to take a look at the track to see what type of weather conditions these guys are having to deal with tonight. Michigan's a track where you want the truck to be, you want it always to be free, no matter what track you're on. But Michigan especially, because you're carrying so much speed, there's not hardly, if all, any off throttle time. As we're actually going to jump on board with Chris McLean here. And let's just listen and see how he's working that throttle. I mean, there you have it. He may have lifted just a little bit, but not really coming out of the throttle whatsoever. So what I was saying, you want the truck to be kind of free. That way you can just stay matted, stay to the throttle. And Chris McLean, 40.20, that's going to put him P2 on the board first lap out. So he was able to get a little bit faster the second lap around. But if the truck's a little bit on the free side, then you can stay in the throttle and then give yourself the most momentum possible going down that backstretch because it's a very big track. Michigan's a 2 mile track. It's considered a super speedway, but it is different than your typical super speedways such as your Talladegas or Daytonas. You see Chris, he exits really low. He cuts that track as far as he can cut it down. Going to drive it down to the grass. Chris McLean, 400ths slower on his second lap out versus his first lap. Josh Lokenvance, the driver of number 79 Chevy Silverado, put it up to P6 the first time by. Chuck, we got Mr. Pegleg Phelps out there, first lap around with a 40.28. Going to see if he can get a little bit better. Currently sitting in the top five, the last spot in the top five. Chuck Pegleg Phelps is holding down the fifth place spot. Going to see if he can do a little bit better. We also got the Ford F-150 of Mr. Kinder's Farm and Ranch. Garrett Kinder in that 76 is out on track now for his out lap as well. Going to see if he can put his name atop the pole, the scoring pylon, we'll call it. As Chuck Pegleg Phelps. Another time of being a little bit slower on the second lap out. So I'm starting to notice a trend here. The drivers are a little bit slower on their second lap. Now that could be the deal with the setup. Maybe you're using a lot of tires. It's hard for me to really tell if they're tight or what. We're seeing Garrett here. He's electing to run quite a bit higher up versus that yellow line, but still, when you get on that front stretch, you're going to cut it down to at least the white line, like we saw Mr. Kinder do. And Kinder just put it up P3 with a 40.21, currently showing 100ths off of Chris McLean, and P2 with Paul Cox, number 72, still top man on the board. Hey, we see Garrett going down this back stretch here. We'll see what he's able to do this time by. This time by, Garrett Kinder coming out of turn 4. Going to probably use the apron this time. Got enough speed built up. Goes all the way down. Going to start going down towards the grass. And Mr. Kinder, a little bit slower on the second lap around. So it's telling me that if you want that fast lap, you better get it on your first lap. And we got the one of the head men for this Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear iRacing Series here, number 17 of Aaron Adcock, out on track now. I'm not sure if this is his first lap out already, if this is his out lap. We'll have to wait and see as he comes across here. The way he's staying up high like that, it's telling me that's his out lap. That driver's electing to try to get as much speed as he can coming to lap 1. So this is Aaron Adcock's first lap out. And now for the ones at home that don't know, iRacing had a big update yesterday. Every 13 weeks they have what they call a build update. A new build comes out. So I want y'all to take a look at the left front tire. The front driver's side tire. If you notice that it's kind of clipping into the racing surface a little bit, that driver don't have a flat tire or nothing. It's basically a visual glitch is what we're seeing. I've tried everything I could to fix it, to take that out, change my graphics up, and nothing I did could fix it. So I actually shot Aaron Adcock a message, and he told me that he's in fact seeing it on his end as well on everybody's truck. So that's just something that's came about from this update they had yesterday. iRacing's great. I mean, they do a lot of stuff right, but at the end of the day, it is still using, just top of the line technology. And as we all know, technology can and will mess up at times. But there you see, Paul Cox, top of the board, and he was able to keep it there. Going to be starting P1. As we go on over to the grid, going to see how these drivers are starting out. Like I said, from Australia / New Zealand, Paul Cox, number 72, put it on the pole position. Starting outside, row number 1, that's MF Racing Design's best paint of the night winner last week, Chris McLean. And then P3, Garrett Kinder. We saw him super strong all last week. Got a speeding penalty late in the race. Was able to bounce back and still finish on the podium. But I know Mr. Kinder, he's hungry. He wants to finish and he wants to win. I mean, that's just cut dry, wants to win. Then starting outside, road number 2 is going to be Kyle Roberts. Riding out your top 5 qualifiers tonight, Christopher Heiner, number 24 out of Dark Horse Motorsports. P6, outside row number 3 out of Big Fish Motorsports / Poleman Motorsports. That's Chuck, Mr. Pegleg Phelps. P7 is going to be Justin Miller. Justin Miller has some crazy paint schemes. He puts together some of the best paint schemes I've ever seen. And that's Justin Miller. He's your one-stop shop for all your paint scheme needs. Mike V starting P8 at Dark Horse Motorsports. Josh Lokenvins, we saw him qualify. He was able to put up P9 with his efforts. Then P10, Tracy Passons. Rolling off in 11th, we got Matt Rogers and Todd Shajolt starting P12. Moving on further down the list, we got Mr. Aaron Adcock in the number 17. That shiny number 17 with the chrome number from Dark Horse Motorsports. Aaron Adcock starting P13. Aaron Mathry and Eric Bullhalter. That's rounding out your top 15 starters here at Michigan International Speedway. William Griffith's going to be firing off P16 from Reaper Racing. Alex Veith, another contender from Dark Horse Motorsports, starting P17. Ray Rogers, representing the entire United States of America. The land of the free, the home of the brave, number 51. That's Ray Rogers. That's last week's winner as well, starting P18, did not put a lap down. And then running out the grid, we got Charles Stevens Jr., another driver from Big Fish Motorsports, and then number 88, also from the United States of America, number 88, starting 19, Charles Stevens Jr. Now, before we get going too far, let's check the weather. We'll see the race info. I got in here a little late, didn't get to do this. So you got a air temp of 85 degrees. So that's a pretty good temperature for racing. You see that track temperature down there? 103 degrees. That means these trucks are going to be slipping and sliding a little bit as the run goes on. Don't want to use them tires up too much. You got to be careful with them tires. They got 4 sets of tires. So you got to try to use them as gradually and as gracefully as you can. Like I said earlier, track length 2.00 miles. It's a perfect even 2 miles. Going to be taking the green flag this time by as that pace car makes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. We're going to take it up front. Ride with the man of the hour. That number 72, Paul Cox, put it on the pole position. Is he going to be strong enough to hold off these hungry playoff drivers behind him? Folks, if you see the yellow banner on the windshield, that means playoff drivers. This is the start of round of 8. We're about to go green flag racing here. Round of 8, Apex Sim Racing Series, brought to you by tonight, 5 Kings Network. But we're going green flag racing here. If you see the yellow banner, you know these drivers are in the round of 8. You win and you're in. You're going to the championship round of 4. That 72 gets a good jump, but that 5 machine's not letting him get too far out ahead. They're going to be side by side going into turn number 1. Who's going to have the advantage? Who's going to lay claim to leading lap number 1? Now, granted, lap number 1, it might not be the most important lap, but you know if you're out front, that's the least amount of chance of being in an accident. It's these drivers that are a little bit further back. As you see them, they're jockeying for position, but we're going to keep the camera right here on that 72 and 5 as they're going down into turn 3 or 4. They're still side by side with that 72. Got a slight advantage coming out of turn 4, but that 5 is getting the momentum he needs to come. They're going to be side by side drag racing it to the line. Who is going to win this battle? 72 drives it off in there deep. It's going to look like the 5 is going to succumb and basically let the 72 win the battle today, but may not win the war. Oh, we got a caution out on the speedway. Yellow flag is out on the speedway. So it's not telling me who crashed here. We're going to take it back a little bit and see. Oh, so we got the 24, Christopher Heiner, going around. Ooh, looks like he got help from Mr. Pegleg Phelps himself. Let's see if we can get it wound up back enough to where we can see that. 75, or maybe it was the red and yellow truck. Got into Christopher Heiner. Ultimately just sent that truck around. Tough break for Mr. Heiner, but luckily for him, he did qualify good, so that shows he has good pace. Didn't look like he got that truck too damaged, as I'm trying to find him on the grid right now. Didn't get too much damage on that number 24 Chevy Silverado, so he should be fairly decent. You see it scuffed up on the driver's side a little bit, so did get a little bit of damage. Got more than what I was expecting. And Michigan, it's a real aero sensitive track. You don't want to mess them body panels up too much, because that's going to affect you when you're in the draft. And man, oh man, as we have this caution brake right here, I want to shoot it on over to our points, since I didn't get to go over that before we came live here. So you see the top 8 in points, they all have 3,000 from Tracy Passon's on up. Chris Heiner, he's a playoff driver, was just involved in that. Ray Rogers is currently sitting 2 points ahead. And you got Chris McLean sitting 2 points behind. Garrett Kendrick's 3 points behind the leader, 1 point behind second place. Chuck Phelps. So what you're seeing here, that's a close battle. Not very many playoff points distributed between all these drivers, and going to be some hungry drivers here tonight. Basically, if you can finish better than your competition on this list right here, you can try to create a little bit of room. As we go over here, we're going to switch it over to the Apex E-Series chase screen. You see the top 16, and then there was 8. That's the start of tonight. This is the round of 8 firing off here at Michigan International Speedway for the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150. You got the round of 8. Tonight's winner, their name's going to slide over to the left, or into the right, excuse me. It's going to be the round of 4. The top 4 will advance out of these 8 drivers. And it's a format that we all know all too well. You win and you're in. So that's what I'm saying. Tonight, the drama happens. And we also know there's some few drivers out here tonight that are in must-win situations, because they will not be here for next week's race. I can't remember all who it is. I know Aaron Adcock, I believe, is one. Maybe Garrett Kinder was the other. I'm not exactly sure. But maybe we'll find out as the race goes on. But that's your Apex E-Series top 8 in the chase. Got a little bit of a shakeup on the grid. Everything has changed from 5th on back. Top 4, they stayed out. They didn't go to pit lane, but we did have some takers on pit road right there. Not a whole lot, but enough to shake the field up. Christopher Heiner went in. He was running like 7th. We saw him get involved in that accident. Went in, got some damage fixed on his trucks. We'll go put the camera on Christopher Heiner and see exactly what the left side of that truck is looking like. Well, I guess the crew did as best they could. That's still a good looking truck nonetheless. As we see, lights are off on the pace car. These drivers need to pull them belts tight one more time. They're going to fire off. Can the 72 or can the 5? They went side by side for the first 3 laps. Can they do it again, or can one of the drivers get an advantage? Or is Garrett Kinder, Kyle Roberts, are they going to throw their name up in the hat and try to get up there and get that clean air on the front of their nose? We're about to find out in about 30 seconds as these drivers come around. They're about to enter turn 3. See, we got some viewers out there. How are you doing, Mr. Paul Passons? How you doing, Nick V's? Glad to see y'all out here. Hope we're able to put on a good show for you all. Let me know in the comments who y'all got tonight. Who's going to be your winner? Who's your dark horse contender? As we're getting ready to go back, green flag racing. 72, he's going to make them wait. He's going to make them wait on it. The field is in his hands. He's gained that advantage because he is a leader. And he fires off good. That's going to leave the 5 car. They just have to come, or 5 truck, excuse me, just going to have to come down and lick his wounds, basically, because that 72 of Paul Cox just shot off like a rocket. And we look a little bit further back, Garrett Kinder, top 4, single filed out. 5th place, Josh Lokovitz, he's got in line. Mike Veith in the number 9 has got in line, but he's getting pressured by Tracy Passons right now. I know we got viewers for both drivers right there, so you know they're both pulling for their drivers to get in front of the other. As you see there, they settle it down. That number 9 machine, that's a pretty looking truck. I love how that truck flows together. Shout out to the unsung hero, whoever painted that truck. That's a good looking ride. As we look on back to the pack, we got another playoff contender in the round of 8. Chuck, Mr. Pegleg Felts, in that Marine sponsored ride. That's another good looking truck. Matt Rogers behind him in that number 96 Toyota Tundra. Trying to get as much track position as you can. On these restarts, you got to get everything you can. You see Todd Shajolt behind him. It's shown him as the 426. Has 26 on the side of his truck. He has a white playoff banner, but he is in the playoffs. So I think anybody you see with a banner like that, or the yellow spoiler, they have the yellow spoiler also, they are in the playoffs. You see William Griffith. William Griffith's up 5 spots from where they gridded in that number 12 white and pink machine Toyota Tundra. And then the Mr. Butters man, Aaron Mathery, rolling P12, trying to get up to William Griffith, maybe force a mistake out of that driver. He is hounding him right now. Last week's winner, I'm pretty sure it was last week's winner, Ray Rogers. And it looks like he took a bid from the new NASCAR number placement. He scooted that number way up to the front. Looking to make a pass on the number 13. He's looking down low right now. He's underneath Alex Fees. Currently shown as an advantage ahead of that driver, but they're going to be battling side by side. They're drag racing turn 1. As we put the camera back up front, this is what we saw earlier. This don't adjust your TV sets, folks. This is deja vu. I know these drivers were battling it out earlier. You got Josh Lokovitz. He's actually the one to throw his name up in the hat. He's pushing that 5 truck, and you're seeing that 72 had no help down the backstretch. Nobody was up close to that truck, pushing that truck to make it go faster, and that allows Chris McLean, number 5, to take the lead. Now Josh Lokovitz, he's trying to get to the outside of the 72. He's there at the quarter panel. Will that 5 truck, will it pull the 79 of Josh Lokovitz up with him? Is that 79 going to be able to clear Paul Cox? Paul Cox gets a great run, drives it off the cliff into turn 1. Getting side by side with the 79, but it's all Chris McLean out the front. As that 79 clears that 72, so that shows right there just how valuable the draft here is tonight. You want to find you a teammate, find you a friend out here. And now we've got Mike Veith in the number 9 selling it off in there. That 72 is falling back, having issues. Mike Veith up to P3, started P8, already gained 5 spots on the board. That's what you want in these races. Yes, 75 laps at Michigan, that can be a longer style race, but if you're already up 5 spots and you're not even 11 laps into it, you're going to be sitting pretty at the end, currently sitting P3. As I'm noticing, Paul Cox, we got a spinner going around. The 51 of Ray Rogers turns around the 71 of Eric Burkhalter. I was actually going back because it looked like Paul Cox was falling back really fast. Let me take it back here. So you see the 71s. Ooh, I think Netco did them boys no favors at first. And then once that happened, it was just kind of a done deal after that. Tough break for that 71 machine. And we're going to try to bring it back with a little bit different camera view here. Oh, yeah, just slight contact from that 51 to the 71. Just sent the 71 around. Nowhere to go for the 71. He was just a victim of the circumstance there. And Mr. Ray Rogers accidentally probably got into him and just maybe misjudged that right there and got that 71 and spun that driver all around. And we're seeing that 72 machine. We did see him fall back, and man, oh man, he has a scraped up right side, and we have a very, very, very busy pit road. I mean, you got every driver going down pit road here, so I'm thinking you're going to see some 2 tire stops, 4 tire stops. These drivers up front are probably just going to elect to take the 4 tires. They got 4 sets, so it's I mean, it's kind of a little early, maybe. but the caution's there. You definitely, ooh, Chris McLean elected no tires on that stop. Let's check the drivers behind him. 75, Chuck Pegler Phelps, he's taking 4 tires. Your top 3 did not take any tires. They had a 7-second pit stop, all of them. So Chris McLean, Garrett Kinder, Kyle Roberts have elected to take no tires. They're thinking big picture. They're going to try to save it set for the end. That's what you got to do, though, in these long races. You got to kind of make a strategy call. That's what these long races are. You got to play chess. You got to think big picture. If the caution was not to fall late in the race, then maybe they won't never ever get to use that extra set of tires they have. But if that caution does happen to fall, man, oh man, you're sitting beautiful then. But right now, those tires don't matter. Chris McLean, driver number 5, F150, sitting in the top spot. With Garrett Kinder from Kinder's Farm and Ranch sitting P2, Kyle Roberts P3, Josh Lokovich P5, and then Mike Veith. I'm telling you guys, that driver's the driver to watch this time. Number 9, that red and yellow Chevy Silverado, Mike Veith, looking super strong. Ray Rogers made a little bit of a gamble on pit road. We saw that driver getting to the 71. Success happening. It's just racing. I mean, they're racing hard. Nothing Ray Rogers did looked intentional. They were just racing hard, but that's behind us now. That 51 went down pit road, did not take tires, had a 6-second stop, so played a little bit of strategy call. That gave him a net positive of 11 positions, so currently sitting P7, so very, very good call, probably, by Ray Rogers, and Aaron Adcock did the same thing. But I'm telling you guys, that driver to watch, Mike Veith, number 9, Josh Lokovich, they did take tires. Now, I don't know if they took 2 tires or 4 tires. A 15-second stop makes me think they took 4 tires. So we're going to find out right here on this restart, folks, if tires are if they are as valuable as what I think they should be. Sorry, had a brain fart there. Mike Veith, just got word that Mike Veith painted that truck himself. So shout out to Mike Veith. I don't know if he does paints for customers, but if he does, you need to hit up old Mr. Mike Veith and get with him, because man, oh man, that's a beautiful truck. Don't want a spoiler alert or nothing here, but that might be your MF Racing Design's best paint of the night. We will see next time the caution flies, but right now we're about to be back to green flag racing here. This is a beautiful facility here. I love Michigan International Speedway. I wish they never would have repaved it, but that don't matter. That 5 truck, he fires off. He's on the loud pedal. 76 and the 35, they're racing side by side. That's Garrett Kinder and Josh and Kyle Roberts. They are trading second place back and forth with Josh Lokovich right there behind them. You got Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Josh Lokovich, and Mike Veith. They are the guys that are top of the grid with the freshest tires. Going to see if they're able to work their way through the pack right now. As you see Josh Lokovich, he's pushing that 76 down the backstretch. As you see here, that 5 machine looking strong out front. Garrett Kinder, Josh Lokovich, they have not settled it yet. Who's going to get that second place spot? Looks like Josh Lokovich. He has the advantage going into turn 1 and 2. We're lap 16. Josh Lokovich going to get a little bit higher. You look at the racing out behind him. I'm sorry to leave this battle up front, but we got some hard racing in the a little bit further back. You're looking at about P5, P6 here. There's drivers all on top of each other, but we got a battle for the lead now. Josh Lokovich trying to use those 4 fresh Mr. Feelgoods. Trying to make a power move to the outside of number 5. Will Josh Lokovich, will he have the momentum here that he needs to come off turn 4 and get a lap led here tonight? Josh Lokovich is still on the outside. He's got the advantage. That's going to be a lap led to the 79 machine of Josh Lokovich, with the 5 machine still fighting back. He was able to clear that driver going into turn 1 and 2 there. So we got a new face at the top of the board, Josh Lokovich. As we move a little bit further on back, you see Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Ray Rogers, Kyle Roberts, Matt Rogers, Todd Shajul, William Griffith. They are all racing right here on top of each other. This is some good, hard racing action here. You can only find this type of action from the Apex Sim Racing Custom Sim Gear. Excuse me, I messed that up. Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear. Excuse me. Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear. You can only find that action from them here on the Five Kings Network. You see Pegleg Phelps looking to the inside of Garrett Kinder, able to make that pass. So I'm starting to think those 4 tires are paying off, but we got contact a little bit further back in the pack. Looked like that may have been Matt Rogers. Made slight contact there. Those drivers were almost 3 wide. You're seeing Mike Veith. He's letting them hang out with those fresh 4 tires, but just in a box right now, not able to go anywhere. Is there 3 wide on behind him? The 4 truck of Mr. Butters Mather, Tracy Passons, and Todd Shajolt. They are battling back here. Oh, we got a blinker. Tracy Passons is blinking. Josh Lokovitz out front. Chris McLean, P2. Chuck Payleft Phelps. And we got a caution on the speedway. Mike Veith was going around. No, no, no. Not what you wanted to see here, folks. As we take it back. 35 gets into the wall. Knocks that driver down. Oh. Terrible, terrible break. And kisses the wall with the front end of that truck. Terrible break for Mike Veith. Let's see if we can get a little bit better shot. Camera angle of this here. Give me a moment here, folks, as I try to. We'll go to the NASCAR heat style chase cam. So you see that driver in front of him. He slaps the wall a little bit. The 9 tried to go up to give him room. 96 coming back in there. Got back up on the track. Got into the left quarter panel of the 9 and just sent that driver around. And that's normally on a short track, that damage right there wouldn't matter. But that's pretty heavy damage for Mike Veith. So tough, tough break for that driver there. Tough break for Mike Veith. Alex, talk to me in the chat, buddy. Hey, he said Dad done scratched that nice paint up. Scott Adcock, how you doing? Good to see you out there in viewer land. All right, folks. Tell me, who do you got tonight? Who's your winner for the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150 live here at Michigan International Speedway? And now look at here, look at here. You got these drivers that did not take their 4 tires earlier. They're coming down pit lane now. So the drivers that did pit, they pitted on lap 12. They're going to have about 6 or so laps, racing laps, on their tires. Will that make a difference? We'll have to wait and find out. But I have to guess Chris McLean is going to take 4 minutes. Ooh, made a slight mental mistake right there. Overshot his pit box a little bit. You saw the driver have to back up a little bit. I'm telling you, these long races, you got to be on your game. You can never lose any type of focus. And we saw that 72 machine elect to take a fast spray right then. What used to be used and abused is now pristine and looking beautiful now. That's a 72 of Paul Cox from Last Chance Racing. As we go back up to the front, we got Josh Lokovitz, Mr. Pegleg, Chuck Phelps, Tracy Passons, Aaron Mathery, and then William Griffith. Those are rounding out your top 5 on the grid. Todd Shajoy, Eric Burkhalter. We saw that driver actually in an accident earlier. Good to see him rebound. Then you got last week's winner, Ray Rogers, number 51, Toyota Supra, Toyota Tundra, number 51, Monster Energy of Ray Rogers. Matt Rogers, saw him involved in the incident earlier as well. Another Toyota Tundra, P9, and then round your top 10. It's Mr. McLean, first guy on fresh tires, the freshest tires on the track. Chris McLean, number 5, saw that driver get out there and led some laps, took the lead away from Paul Cox earlier. Then once he got out front, he never really rocketed away from the field, but he did have a comfortable lead until Josh Lokovitz and the group, they went and pitted. Got off cycle from the leaders a little bit. That allowed Lokovitz to get up there and make a power move to the outside of Chris McLean and get that lead. Now, the tables have turned. Will Chris McLean be able to get back up there and do what Josh Lokovitz did prior? We'll have to wait and find out here on the Five Kings Network, Five Kings Motorsports YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please give us a like and a follow on our Five Kings Network Facebook page. Our Five Kings Motorsports Facebook page, we have almost 2,000 followers. We just now started out doing this broadcasting deal. I love it. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if y'all enjoy it, but if y'all enjoy it even half as much as I enjoy doing it, then that's a blessing to me. So if you could, give us a like. I'd like to see that number just keep climbing. So, got almost 2,000 on the motorsports page, trying to get up there and double that on the network page. That's Five Kings Network over on Facebook.com. As we see, the lights are off on that gender-neutral pace car. Is it a Ford? Is it a Kia? We don't know. It's brandless. It has no identity. But regardless, it's getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn onto pit road, and the field's going to be in command of Josh Lokenvents. Green flag is out. You see Josh Lokenvents kind of spin the tires a little bit there, but it don't matter. Still got a great jump. They're battling for second. That's Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Tracy Passons. They're side by side going into turn one. That's something we've seen all night. Is they're side by side, many rows back. The leader is able to get a decent jump, except for the very first start we saw Paul Cox and Chris McLean actually be side by side. But the majority of the hard racing is, woo, they're getting up there close to Josh Lokenvents. It's getting ready to be a three-way battle for the lead. Typically tonight, the leader has gotten to jump out on the field a little bit. And that's left second and third place to really battle it out. You see that 53 machine of Tracy Passons? He said he wants to get a lap led. Put my name at the top of the board. Tracy Passons advantage coming out of turn 4. Going to get this lap led maybe this time by. Too close to call. Josh Lokenvents got the lead that time by. Got the lap led. Advantage to the 53 Silver Apex Racing Machine Ford F-150 of Tracy Passons. Top dog on the board, able to clear that number 79. That's going to leave 79, P2, 75, P3 is a 75. Trying to pull a crossover move, 79, excuse me. Pulled a crossover move on the exit of turn 2. Got to the inside by turn 3. And going to try to clear that driver going into turn 4. Able to make it happen. Man, oh man, these boys are racing like there's no tomorrow. And I'm seeing some side-by-side action with William Griffith back there. Chris McLean, he's making his way up through the field. Remember, he came out like P11 on them fresh tires. Currently sitting P4. He is slicing and dicing his way through the field. You got to be careful. You don't want to get into an incident, but you don't want to let them drivers to Josh Lokenvents, Tracy Passons, Chuck Pegleg Phelps. You don't want to let them type of drivers get out too far in the lead. Too much talent out here. If you let a driver get a 2-3 second lead, it's going to be hard to overcome that. There's too much talent out here. Everybody is so equal. Everybody's so fast. And man, oh man, it's crazy to see that 5 truck, make his way through the field the way he has. As you see, side by side for second, Josh Lokenvents, Chuck Pegleg Phelps. They are hounding the leader. They're trying to make something shake for the leader. That's going to open the door for the 5 truck to get up there as well. Man, oh man, they are a battle. You can throw a blanket over the top 5 performers out here tonight. Coming to lap 27 this time by. They're almost 3 wide. 75 is looking to the inside of the 53. Going to try to see if he can put the power down. That 5 is looking. He looked high. He looked low. Advantage 53 that time by. Ooh, the 79-75 almost makes slight contact. Ultimately, they was able to keep it going. No harm, no foul. Chuck Pegleg Phelps, he is trying everything he can right now to get in front of that driver. Just not able to get the power down the way he needs. As we went to the right front suspension cam right here, seeing how close those drivers was. They were so close, the camera went inside each other. Man, oh man, this is some good racing. As you see there, 75 to the top spot. That's Pegleg, Chuck Phelps, P1 in the Chevy Silverado, number 75. There you see that 53. He's hounding him though. He's not going to give up that easy. He's trying to muscle that Ford F-150. And there you see another Ford F-150 coming to the shot. That's the number 5 of Chris McLean. He's trying to claim what he had earlier, and that was top dog spot on the grid. Going to see if he can battle his way back after taking tires a little bit later than the field. He's going to drive it off in there deep. We're going to switch it over to TV1 and see what that driver's able to do. And man, oh man, did you see how much he sailed it off in there to make that pass? I mean, we're going to go back and watch this again, folks. He went back. He drove it in there 3 car lengths deeper to get that lead. Just driving it in there super deep. Completely confident in his ability into his truck, and that shows right there. Able to take the lead from Chuck Pegleg Phelps. And there we have another guy on fresh tires, Mr. Kinder in the 76 F-150, trying to get up there to Tracy Parsons in the 53. Got the 51 of Ray Rogers hounding him. 51, we saw him get a little aggressive earlier, made a little bit of maybe a slight mistake, got into the back of, I believe it was 71. But worked his way up to P5 now. He's trying to follow Garrett Kinder up through the field. 51's looking underneath Garrett Kinder here. Ultimately not close enough to make a move yet, but he is trying. He's trying to get there. Lap number 30 on the board. Going to be coming to 31 when they roll out of turn 4 here, but they're battling down the backstretch. William Griffith jumped to the pit, so I think something happened to William Griffith there. I'm showing that he's leaving pit road now, so tough break for the 12 machine. He is a playoff contender, if I do remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he is a playoff contender. No, he is not. He got eliminated last week. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. But still, tough break nonetheless for that driver. If we're going to pull up our top 8 right there, we'll leave it there. Not for long. We'll leave it there just for a little bit. Let the viewers that are just now tuning in see. Come on, Tracy, Mr. Paul Passon says. Come on, boys. I know you got it in you. I watched the racing here last week. These boys are strong out here. There's so much talent out here, man. I've said that time and time again. Chris McLean, though, is sitting pretty right now out front. Got almost a half a second lead over Mr. Pegleg Phelps. Garrett Kinder was able to get around that 53. At 53, got into the wall a little bit. Tracy Parsons going backwards right now. Not what you want to see, Paul Parsons, I know, but luckily he did it early in the race. We're coming to almost halfway by. A few laps short of halfway, but we're getting there. They are on top of each other. That 39 was almost side drafting the 24 a little bit. Got the 4 machine to his outside. They're 3 wide battling in the turn 1 and 2. Slight contact with the 4. That's going to send the 39 around. 39, where'd you go? Caution is out. Justin Miller in the 39 took a hard lick to the outside wall. Taj Joel took a hard lick. You see right there, they're just battling. They're fighting for everything they can get here. Fighting for every inch of real estate. 39 comes down to the 35 a little bit. Up to the track, and oh my goodness. What did I just see? That was insane. That was one of the craziest crashes I've ever seen on iRacing. Wow. Well, folks, wow. Hopefully, for that driver's sake, Tasha Joel, hopefully he's able to get the pit road and have a fast repair. Look at the way that wheel is. Look at that front right tire. His wheel is not turned like that. His wheel is broke like that. My, oh my. Alright, guys. It's that time of the night. It's time for our MF Racing Designs best paint of the night. If I can get it pulled up the way I need to. MF Race Designs best paint of the night. Work with me, OBS. Let's see. Let's go to the field and see if we can find our best paint. Chris McLean won it last week. We got Garrett Kinder in 76. I'm just going to go through and look at some of them Chuck Pegleg Phelps. These drivers are electing to go to pit road. Josh Lokenvents, Aaron Adcock. Let's see, guys. I don't know. It's always tough for me to pick out these best paints. I love that 53 machine. Very, very simple, but very, very, very aggressive looking. That 96, once again, also nice. That 13, man, oh man, I love that 13. It's also very simple. Mike Veith, hands down, right there. I don't have to look no further, look no more. Mike Veith, MF Race Designs, best paint scheme of the night, number 9. That Chevy Silverado of Mike Veith. Congratulations. MF Race Designs, best paint scheme of the night goes to you. That's a very, very, very pretty truck. And I will be completely straightforward and honest. I'm normally not a fan of yellow on trucks, on yellow on race vehicles. Like Joey Logano's yellow and red. I don't like his paint schemes at all. But it's something about that number 9 machine. Maybe it's the font of the number 9. I'm not sure. I can't quite put my finger on it, but nonetheless, that's a beautiful truck right there. Mike Veith, MF Race Designs, best paint scheme of the night. Paul Passer says, "Come on, Tracy, get your tires." I think he did. So that 53 got a little bit of damage on the right side of the truck. I don't think it's going to hurt him too much. We're seeing him go back down pit road here. We do know they got a fast repair in their pocket, or he's coming off pit road, excuse me. They have a fast repair in their pocket. He did not take his fast repair yet. So it's probably smart, Paul. He's probably thinking big picture. That way now if he does get caught up in another wreck, he has a mulligan basically. He has a get out of jail free card, we'll say. He has a fast repair still. So hopefully at 53 he can put those 4 fresh tires into good use, got some of his damage fixed, and I think he's going to be a heavy hitter. But don't look now. With that 72, we saw him out front, put it on the pole earlier, led quite a bit of laps, led like the first 10 or so laps, was battling with Chris McLean in the 5. Then we saw him start to fall back a little bit, and then we saw that side of that truck, right side of the truck, get scraped up. He got into that outside wall, not once, not twice, but 3 times. But nonetheless, that shows he was trying to get everything he could out of that truck, had to use a fast repair. Forget about all that now, though. Put that behind you. You are P1 again here tonight in the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150. Kyle Roberts going to be starting off outside row number 1. Inside row number 2, that's Chris McLean of Poleman Motorsports. And then we got Mr. Pit Viper, or Garrett Kinder's Farm and Ranch. Excuse me. Garrett Kinder starting outside row number 2 with Pegleg Phelps round out your top 5. Scott Hancock said a while ago, get to the front, Aaron. So we got some people that are rooting for their people in here, and I love to see it. I'm telling you, us sim racers, we take this serious, and we love any and all support. And see that 72, he fires off super quick there. Got almost a half a second advantage. Does have a half a second advantage over Garrett Kinder and Kyle Roberts. They are battling side by side, door to door, going into turn 1. That 35 is rolling backwards right now. That 35 did not pit, but Paul Cox did not pit either. They pitted a little bit earlier. As you remember, these drivers are a little bit off cycle with each other. You see that 76 leading that 5 and that 51. They all are on the same strategy. The 76, 5, 51, 75. They are all on the same strategy. Now throw in the 4 of Aaron Butters Mather. They all pitted on lap 34, so they all got the freshest rubber on the track, and they're trying to make use of it. As you see Garrett Kinder, he is leading the train, the 5 truck. Chris McLean's going to try to jump to his outside. 72 is almost a little pick. 76 is able to still get the advantage over the 5, and he is driving to the back bumper. The 72 going to look underneath 72. We may have a new leader this time around, folks. 76 of Garrett Kinder is looking to the inside of 72. 5 truck is going to stay with him, give him the draft help. That's twice now we've seen that 72 get hung out to dry. That 5 truck pushed that 76. New leader, Garrett Kinder, mustered his way underneath, put himself in the right place, in the right position to take the lead. That's lap lead number 1 for Garrett Kinder. Paul Passon says, put the hammer down, Aaron. Come on, Mr. Adcock, number 17. Aaron Adcock, he also pitted on lap 34, so he's on the same strategy as the leaders. Right now, we have Paul Cox. He's the guy that did not elect to pit. He rode off P1, but he is slipping back into the clinches of all these fresh tires. And you saw Pegleg Felts go by him. So we're seeing just how valuable fresh tires are. Now you got Aaron Adcock. He is hounding, trying to hound that 72. Want to get up there to the bumper. Got checked up on the restart a little bit. That's why this gap is here. So he's going to take him a few laps to try to get to Paul Cox. But I think the momentum he's going to have when he does get up there, it's going to be too much for Paul Cox to battle with, because Paul Cox has just been out there much longer on that set of tires. As we're actually going to go on board with Aaron Adcock. Look at that drive he had up to that 72. Going to almost pass that driver as if he's sitting still. That's how valuable 4 set of tires are here. Now you got Aaron Adcock, that number 17, Chrome Machine, looking to catch up with Chris McLean. Has him out of his windshield. Those trucks are getting bigger out of his windshield. That means he's getting closer. This is a man on the move right here. Aaron Adcock, number 17, Ford F-150, is hunting the top 4. Currently sitting P5. As Garrett Kinder, Ray Rogers, they are side by side, door to door, trading a little bit of paint here. That 51, we saw him win it last week. Started in the very back this week. Worked his way up to the front. Took a little bit of a pit strategy. Made a bold move the first pit stop. Did not take tires, just took fuel. That gave him track position. Now you're seeing what he's doing with that track position. Currently battling Garrett Kinder for the lead here at Michigan International Speedway. As there's still no real advantage to either driver. They're side by side. 51 edges out a little bit over Garrett Kinder. Going to clear that 76 machine there. 75 truck, peg leg, drives right up to the 76 bumper. I think the 76 got a little bit loose, but boy, oh boy, look who has put their name into the hat. That 17 of Aaron Adcock, currently sitting P3, up 10 spots from where he gridded. Going to try to work his way up to Garrett Kinder, make light work of Garrett Kinder, which is going to be almost impossible. And then, even after he does that, you got race winner from last week, Ray Rogers, also in front of him. Chris McLean's looking underneath a little bit, just kind of putting his nose under, seeing what's available. The 17 is going to drive up to the bumper of the 76, then look down low, side by side as they're going down the backstretch. Not a whole lot of help with either driver here when it comes to draft. It's just going to be pure talent and willpower here. That 17 drives it off a little bit deeper than the 76. Not going to be able to clear that driver, I don't think, coming out of turn 4. 76 bobbles a little bit, though. Going to lose a little bit of momentum there. 17 drives it down like he's doing a qualifying lap. Man, oh man, I love this series. I love how hard these guys get out here and they race with each other. They race with respect, though, but they are racing hard. We're lap 44. We're going to be lap 45 this next time around. Ooh, make slight contact. That may send 76 up into the wall. Yes, it does send the 76 up into the wall. Garrett Kinder's going for a wild ride. Saves that machine, but did get up into the wall a little bit. That's a tough break for the 76. I know no harm, no foul. 17 did not mean to do that. Just kind of ran out a little bit of real estate right there. But Garrett Kinder took the bad end of that stick going backwards, and Matt Rogers went down. I think that driver got loose as well. But tough break for Garrett Kinder. And as you see, I think that truck is off the pace. I think that truck's hurt. He didn't really lose a lot of spots. He's still sitting P5. Only lost 3 spots right there. But you see those other drivers around him. They are able just to get right up to him. I think that 76 machine is hurt. He's going to need a fast repair if he hasn't used it yet. As you see, they're side by side still. He's still holding on strong, though, so maybe it ain't hurt too bad. But it is significant damage to the right side of that truck. Tough break. As we see Aaron Adcock, he is still trying to chase down the race leader, Ray Rogers. Going to see if he's able to get there. Got Mr. Okay, sorry, I went blank there. I thought that was peg leg catching him, and I was like, that's Josh Lokenvents. So Josh Lokenvents went a lap down somehow, and he's actually trying to battle and get his lap back here. Aaron Adcock don't care no way about it, though. He's still trying to get up to the leader. They're battling as if they're racing for the spot, but really, Lokenvents is trying his hardest to get his lap back. Got to get up there to Ray Rogers, though, to get your lap back, and that's tough for Aaron Adcock because he's actually getting slowed down a little bit. Both those drivers are, because when you start racing side by side like that, you're not nearly as fast as what you'll be by yourself. I want to give another update to Garrett Kinder. He's falling back to P10. I'm telling you guys, I think that truck's hurt. It wasn't very, very hard damage. I mean, it wasn't a very hard hit, but it's very significant damage, especially when you hit that right front suspension. I mean, that don't have a lot of give in it. I mean, yes, these race trucks and race cars, they're built to last some abuse. But when you go straight to the outside wall right there, hit it right with the right front, that's just asking for damage and asking for trouble. And that's what we're saying. That 76, he had some killer pace earlier. And right now, just not able to match the pace he had after that contact with the outside wall. As we see, Josh Lokenvents has gotten his lap back over that 51. Had to pull a power move up there. So now you know that drivers don't care. He's like, let the caution come out. I'll be right where I need to be. Starting P16. And that's best case scenario there, folks. But you see Ray Rogers is not going to give it up. He may try to put that driver a lap down. That's one less driver Mr. Ray Rogers would have to worry about late in the race if that driver ahead of him to lap down and Josh Lokenvents. I'm starting to lose my voice, folks. It's starting to go on me. I'm supposed to have help on Thursday nights. Supposed to have either Jason Raymond or Dalton Kilrow. They are normally up in the broadcast booth with me, but they have been ill. They've been sick, so it's just been a one-man show. And I'm doing the best I can for folks. Give you a little peek behind the curtain. My wisdom teeth are coming in on my left side, so anytime I open my mouth up really to talk, or if I get excited, which is very easy to get excited watching this racing here, it just feels like somebody's taking a knife and just stabbing me in my jaw. So I'm trying to bear with it and bear through it, but it is painful. So I try not to get too excited right now because it does hurt every time I get excited. But man, the racing action these boys provide in the Apex Sim Racing League, it's top notch. It really is. It's top notch. And you can join this league. I mean, they are in the playoffs now, but they'll take an off season, and then the season will fire back up. Message Aaron Adcock on Facebook. Check him out on Discord. Wherever you think you can go, Facebook, Discord. I mean, check these guys out. That's the Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear E-Series Showdown. I'll give it to you one more time. It's a mouthful, folks. Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear E-Series Showdown. Check them out on iRacing, folks. You can become a part of this fantastic series here. As we're starting to see drivers elect the pit. Paul Cox, first on pit road. Matt Rogers followed him. Justin Miller saw that number 39 get into a little bit of trouble. That's from 1 Inch Designs only. Justin Miller on pit road. Kyle Roberts followed. Aaron Mathers followed. So, and you saw driver elect take his fast repair. You saw that truck get cleaned right in front of our eyes. Want to see what Garrett Kinder does here. Garrett Kinder, he's bringing it down pit road here. So green flag pit stops with 24 laps to go. As we're actually going to go back on Garrett Kinder, I just want to see what these drivers are electing to do here. If they're going to take 4 tires or what here. Garrett Kinder was last on pit road on lap 34. We know he took his tires then. 24 laps to go. Been about 20 or so laps. Let's see if Garrett Kinder, we know he's going to use a... Ooh, made a mistake. Overshot his pit box a little bit. But you saw right side of that truck get squeaky clean right then. You can see the 76 perfectly. Pit Viper, see it perfectly. So that driver did use his fast repair. Ray Rogers is coming around, going to put Garrett Kinder, and all them guys are still on pit road. Going to be a lap down. He is still hounding Josh Lokenvents, trying to put that 79 a lap down again. Josh Lokenvents made a power move. Got to bring his lap back. He's racing that 51. He don't want him to pass him. If he passes him, that's a lap down. He's going to be side by side. Got the advantage. Got the momentum going in turn 3 and 4 there. nothing local events can do besides just basically watch Ray Rogers and wave to him as he passed him. That 51 is absolutely on rails right now. As I'm going to come over here and check the comments, see what you fine folks are saying back in viewer land. I'm going to switch over here and go. Come over here and check. We're here at on our YouTube page as well. Greg McLennan. Good evening, Five Kings. Thank you very much. Kevin Kinder said, "Woot woot, go number 76. That truck is clean and mean now, so he's gonna be back at full power. He should be looking strong, but he needs the pit cycles to go ahead and cycle. He's actually showing us a lap down right now. Made a green flag pit stop. So Garrett Kinder, he's currently waiting for the leaders of Ray Rogers, Chuck Phelps, Aaron Adcock, Eric Buckhawker, and Tracy Passons. Those are the last drivers that have not pitted yet. They are waiting for them drivers to pit. We just saw Chris McLean. He's exiting pit road now. When will Ray Rogers decide to pit? This is the game we play right here. They got 75% fuel. That's the max that they can add to these cars, or these trucks. I'm not sure exactly how many laps that equates to, but part of me thinks maybe Ray Rogers is going to stretch this out until a caution. But another part of me thinks Michigan's a pretty big track. I don't think he can make it on fuel. And he's losing a lot of time to the guys that have elected to already pit. So we'll compare him to Garrett Kinder. Garrett Kinder is a full second and 3/10 faster than Ray Rogers on the track each lap now. So yes, Garrett is a lap down, but like we see Chris McLean, look at the speed difference there. Chris McLean on fresh tires, able to drive around the 51 with not much of a battle needed. That's just the sheer pace alone that Chris McLean. Only 6 drivers on the lead lap right now. So if Ray Rogers is going to pit, he's going to have to do it pretty quick. Unless he's just thinking a caution has to fall. First guy lap down is Josh Lokovitz right there. And he's right behind the leader. He's trying to fight again to get his lap back. And then you got to look back just a little bit farther. You got Paul Cox and Garrett Kinder. Garrett Kinder was almost a second and a half faster than Ray Rogers that time. So he is catching that driver. He is going to get his lap back here. Right now, you got 4 drivers that have elected not to pit. We got Ray Rogers coming down. I think that's going to be a busy pit lane. You got Aaron Adcock, Chuck Pegleg Phelps. Tracy Passons is the one driver that has not pitted yet, and he's coming out pit lane. So now it has cycled. Chris McLean's going to cycle to the lead if he's able to come out and be in front of Ray Rogers. Let's keep the camera on Ray Rogers and see what he does here. That driver, right side's coming up. For sure taking right side tires. Is he going to take left sides as well? We'll take left sides. Let's see where Chris McLean. Let's get an update on Chris McLean. See where he's at on the track. That driver's coming out of turn 4, I do believe. If Ray Rogers is not rolling yet. Oh, this is going to be close, folks. This is going to be close. Let's try to go to... Let's see. That's Chris McLean coming across the start-finish line there. McLean's going to have the advantage, I think. McLean will be in front of that driver before Ray Rogers gets up to speed. There, yeah, absolutely. Got by Ray Rogers right there. Now, McLean did pit 4 laps early, so he has 4 laps older tires than Ray Rogers. That's not that big of a gap. Meaning, Chris McLean's tires are not used up that much. But, we got to also remember, folks, when we watched them do qualifying tonight, there wasn't a single car out here tonight that was faster on their second lap out versus their first lap. So, this might be a track that's wearing out the tires more than what we think. Because normally in those situations, especially on qualifying, your second lap is always head and shoulders faster than the first lap. But tonight, it was completely flip-flopped. That first lap was, without a doubt, the fastest lap for every single driver out here. So, is them 4 laps going to matter? There's 17 laps to go. 16 this time by when they come out of turn 4. Will Chris McLean punch his ticket to the round of 4? Or will Ray Rogers get up there? Will Paul Cox? That's a name we haven't talked about much here as of late. Got up there and led. Got the lead again. Made a fell back because of tires, but still sitting P3. It's going to be a good point snipe for Paul Cox if he's able to bring it home there. We're 16 laps to go. As you see, Ray Rogers, he's getting closer to that driver. He's only a tenth back now. He is on that rear bumper of that number 5 machine. What is going to happen here? Is he going to be able to get by that driver? He gets right up there to him, but then once he gets about a tenth to him, he's not able to gain any more ground. But he does that time out of turn 4. He found the momentum there. This is the battle going to be for the lead and maybe the race win if this thing was to go green. We're 15 laps to go. Man, oh man, if you're a McLean or a Rogers fan right now, you know you are jumping up and down. You want to see your driver pull it home. But don't forget about Paul Cox, Aaron Adcock, Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Garrett Kinder, and Christopher Heiner. We saw him get spun earlier. Had a pretty bad break early in the race. Battled his way back to P7, and that's what you gotta do. When you're in these points battles, when you're in the chase especially, you have got to battle back and do everything you can do to get every single point you can, because each person you pass, that's an extra point. As you see, they're in line right now, but they're putting together fast laps. Everybody on the track is very, very close on lap time. So what that tells me is, if there was a caution to come out, and if you're these racers out there, you don't want to see a caution. But now, us up in the booth, us as fans, man, oh man, we'd love to see a caution just to re-rack them. Try it again, you know. But, these drivers, that's the last thing they want to see. And as we're seeing right here, the battle for first is actually opened up a little bit. So, Chris McLean was only up on the 51 by about a tenth and had 2/10 when I switched over, but that 51 got a good launch off turn 3 and sucked right up to that 5 machine down the backstretch. As we're getting close to the 10 to go, presented by Savage Edge Apparel, as we get a little bit closer to it, it's starting to get exciting again, folks. This is why we're here. This is what counts. This is when, as cliche as it sounds, this is when champions are made. When you can prevail and overcome your competition late in a race like this. This is what matters here. 5, currently, all the advantage over the 51. Is the 51 just basically being patient right now, biding his time? Or is the 5 just that much faster? 4-lap old tires does not seem to make a difference here now. But that 51, he is trying to force a mistake out of that 5 truck. He is doing everything he can. Fill that 5 truck's mirror up. Make Chris McLean make a mental mistake. And that's what it takes right now. A little lapse of judgment, a little misjudgment, lose focus for just 1 second, a split second, and boom. That's the difference between a first and second place ride. Aaron Adcock, he's currently 3 seconds behind, so didn't have the pit entry and the pit exit that these other guys did. Or I apologize. He is actually, 3 seconds behind. Sorry. All right, we're going to be 10 to go this time by 10 to go, presented by Savage Edge. For all your vinyl graphics, custom apparel, any type of graphical accessory you can think of, that's Savage Edge. Check them out on Facebook. They specialize in custom apparel for sure. You can get your 5 Kings Motorsports t-shirt, cheap too. I mean, just highest of quality. That's Savage Edge Apparel. They do vinyl graphics, custom apparel, and accessories. Need a drink koozie? Savage Edge. Need a custom hoodie made? Savage Edge. Need a logo put on a sticker? Savage Edge. That's 10 laps to go. Presented to you by Savage Edge Apparel. That's where 9 laps to go, and my oh my, is the 51. Is he just playing cat and mouse right now? He is following that 5's footsteps. He's following that 5's tire tracks. Everywhere that 5 goes, it's like that 51 has a it's like that 5 has a hitch on the back of it, just pulling that 51. Everywhere the 5 goes, 51 goes. I think that 51 is just trying to stay there. He wants to stay within striking range, and then like a snake there at the end, he's going to wait and watch, wait and watch. And when that time's right, he's going to pounce. And that's what it looks like right now. Will the 5 be able to be on the defensive and manage his lead? Or will these two, will they get to racing so hard and they forget about that number 17 and let that 17 get up there and claim victory and punch his ticket into the round of 4, championship 4, mind you. You're just going to have to wait and find out. We're A-Laps. That 5 machine gets a little bit loose. That's going to allow the opening of the door for the 51. They're side by side a little bit. 51 elects to fall back in. I think what we're seeing here, folks, it's a case of that 51 does not want to be the leader coming to the last lap. That's how strong the draft is. So he's just going to wait. He's going to play patty cake basically with him. Just keep on clicking off laps until they get that white flag flying. And then he's going to try to make his move. Unless that 5 truck, if he gets a little loose like that again, if he makes a little bobble, loses a little bit of momentum, then the 51 will just have to take it. You'll have to go when you can go. I was very surprised to see him just fall back in line of the 5. And folks, I'm sorry for the rest of the guys. I know I'm just focused on this battle right here. We're 7 laps to go. This is playoff racing right here. This is a surefire punch your ticket into the championship 4. Top 4 in points will go to the championship race. I mean, this is for everything right here. And I want to give it an update. I know Tracy Passon has some fans out here. He's currently rolling P9. Alex V at that 13 has a very quiet night, but that's what you want in these type of races. If you're quiet, that means you're moving forward, not backwards. Currently sitting P8. Christopher Heiner, saw him have a tough turn early on in the race, got turned around. Currently battling to the back of Garrett Kinder. He's sitting 7th. Garrett Kinder, P6. Paul Cox, that was our pole sitter from the night. Got up there and led quite a bit of laps. He's sitting P5. Then we got Pegleg Phelps, P4. And I didn't realize these two right here are so close with each other. Pegleg and Aaron Adcock. Normally with these green flag pit stops, you get basically drivers strung out with each other. But although we are seeing drivers strung out, they're strung out in these clusters. Like Garrett Kinder and Christopher Heiner, they were right on top of each other. Aaron Adcock, Chuck Pegleg Phelps, they're right here with each other. But Ray Rogers still right in the tire tracks. And Aaron Adcock is catching these drivers. Folks, it was a 3-second gap he had to them a while ago. It has now worked its way down to 1 second. Aaron Adcock didn't even realize it. Was the fastest car on track that time around. Let's see what he does this time. This time around, Aaron Adcock with a, well, good update. Once again, fastest car on the track by a long shot. 5/10 faster than everybody on the track. That's how you make a statement right there, folks. That's how you start to reel in the leaders. And that's what he is doing right here. He's using that draft from that lap car of Lokenvents right now. And Josh Lokenvents is not no slouch. We saw him get up there and battle with the leaders earlier. 4 laps to go. I'm not sure if he has enough time, Aaron Adcock, to get to Ray Rogers and Chris McLean, but I don't know, folks. He's almost there now. He has cut the gap down remarkably. I mean, he is almost basically there now. Emily McLean in the chat says, Emily McLean in the chat says, you got this, Chris. Go number 5. Paul Parsons, I'm not sure. You said, don't worry about it. You're found a good job. You found a good job. Maybe it's when you're talking about me and my voice cutting out. Yeah, I'm trying my best up here, folks, but I'm telling you, it's rough going. But Aaron Adcock, 3 laps to go. They are there now. They are with the 51 and the 5. This is getting ready to heat up, folks. Don't turn away now. We're 2 laps to go at Michigan International Speedway for the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150. Will the 51 have enough? Have what it takes to get around the 5? Will they get to racing too hard? And somehow, some way, forget about that 17 machine. time will tell. Josh Lokenvitz does the right thing, gets out of the way, and says, "Here, I brought you to the party, 17. Go get him." And that's what you're seeing right here. Aaron Adcock. That's a driver that will not be here at Richmond. I'm almost positive. So this is a must-win for that driver to automatically punch his ticket in. White flag this time by 5. Gets a good gap to the 51. The 17 is coming though. White flag presented by Bam Racing Videos is out. Final lap on the speedway. 51 is looking low. Is he going to try to make a pass here, or is he going to try to go in at turn 3 and 4? What is Aaron Adcock going to do? As we go to TV2 to get back a little bit, I want to see all these drivers. That 51, he's laying back. He's trying to get as much of a run as he can up to that 5. Got the momentum coming up to him. Is he going to be able to look underneath that driver? Gets right up to the back bumper of him. I don't think he's got the momentum. He doesn't. That 5 going to have a marvelous race all night. Going to have the advantage coming out of turn 4. Is he able to get it to the line? That 51 sucking back up to him, though. That 5 is looking too strong, too fast. 51 fakes high, fakes low. 5 goes down to the apron. Winner tonight for the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150. Chris McLean in the number 5 Ford F-150. Man, oh man. I had to change my whole pitch right then because if I talked any louder or got any more excited, it hurt my teeth. So, man, oh man, what a great finish right there. Ray Rogers followed Chris McLean for so many laps. Wasn't able to actually overcome it though. But kudos to Aaron Adcock in that number 17. Started 13th on the board. Scratched, clawed, and fought his way up to finishing P3, rounding out your podium position. You got another playoff contender. Chuck Pegler Phelps brought home P4. Paul Cox, that's your poster tonight. Coming around for P5. Garrett Kender, P6. Christopher Heiner, P7. Alex Veith, P8. Tracy Passons, P9. Eric Buckhalter, P10. Mike Veith, that's the winner of the MF Race Design's Best Paint of the Night. Brought home P11th. P12 Matt Rogers. P13 Aaron Butters Mathers. They're doing the Smash Up Derby now. Justin Miller brought home 14th. Josh Lokovitz, that was a driver that helped Aaron Adcock get up there 15th. Kyle Roberts, William Griffith, Tasha Jett, and Charles Stevens Jr. round out the field. This winning moment brought to you by Bam Racing Videos. If you like sim racing, we got you covered over here on 5 Kings Network, 5 Kings Motorsports. But if you like real life racing from some of the most famous short tracks across the entire United States, check out Bam Racing Videos on YouTube. As we go and try to find these drivers, I know we're going to have some excited drivers here. First and foremost, though, we got to talk to Mr. P3 himself. Had an up and down race. We saw him battle back and somehow, some way, drove them leaders down and got to them, but just ran out of laps. Aaron Adcock in the number 17. This is Tanner Marr in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, man.
Aaron, buddy, I tell you, my voice is shot. I've been excited. I told the fans at home I had my wisdom teeth coming in. My mouth is killing me. You boys put on a show. Y'all kept me excited all night. You had a 3-second gap, Aaron, whenever you came off pit road. Where did you discover the pace to chase them leaders down the way you did? If there was a few laps left, there may be a different winner here tonight. What did you change coming from that last pit stop?
Well, I started watching what kind of the line they were running, and I also remembered that the 79 of Josh Lokenvitz, he also come out of pit. He pitted about 3 laps after I did, so I knew he had fresher rubber, and I called him at just the right time, and I stayed out in front of him. And when he finally got to me, I just let him go, and I hooked up the chains and the toe strap, and I let him pull me around until I got close enough to where I felt like I could, kind of have a little bit of my own moves to try to make at the end, but I just ran up short.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron. You won't be here for next week, right? This was a must-win for you.
Well, I was not supposed to be here this week, and things just magically worked out that I could make it. So
Oh, okay, okay. I got you mixed up.
hopefully I'll be able to make it next week as well, and be able to show up and have a good run at Richmond. But Chris McLean actually was the guy that wasn't going to make it next week, so I'm glad he got a win, and
Oh,
me and him
okay,
are teammates. So
okay. See, I
um,
knew there was one person for sure that said they would not be there at Richmond, Aaron, you're one of the main people behind Apex Sim Racing, this whole series. Let the fans know at home, for the ones watching, where can they reach out to you to try to join this series? I mean, this is some top notch racing y'all put on out here.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just a group of guys that enjoy having fun on Thursday nights, and um, we got a backing from a guy in the sim racing world, Jimmy at Apex Sim Racing uh, Gear, and he uh, he told us that he didn't mind putting his name out there for us to use as a sponsor, and for when we prove ourselves worthy, he'll be behind us 110%, and that's all we're trying to do is show up on Thursday nights, put down good racing, help his business as well as help our brand of racing as well. So Facebook, if you hit me up on iRacing, wherever, Discord, it doesn't matter. If you want to run, just give me a shout. We got 2 more weeks of this season left, and then we're going to start doing some recruitment races on Thursday night in iRacing, and the recruitment races will take place at the time of our normal race slot. Um, that way, if they're on iRacing on a Thursday night, more than likely they'll be able to make races. So
Okay.
just big shout out to y'all for broadcasting, and I appreciate everything y'all been doing the last few weeks. They've been exciting.
Absolutely. We appreciate you letting us come on board, and we hope to grow with you, Aaron. So, just to clarify, do y'all have a Facebook page called Apex Sim Racing Custom Racing Gear E Series Showdown?
Not yet. I'm in the process of
Okay.
making one,
Okay.
but I will get one made and get y'all to put it on y'all's website or on your Facebook page, and
Okay.
a direct link that where people can really get in touch with me. But yeah, it's been fun, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks as well as the next season.
You're right, buddy. Well, that's Aaron Adcock. Brought it home P3 tonight. Started 13th, I do believe, on the board. Brought it home P3. Aaron Adcock, you got any sponsors or shout outs you want to throw out there?
Yeah, Apex Sim Racing, all my guys at Poman Motorsports. Me and Kinder got into it just a little bit, and it was completely unintentional, and I feel so bad about it. But um, shout out to all the guys at Poman Motorsports, and congratulations to Chris and Ray. Those guys are. It's two guys I don't mind chasing tailgates. They're some of the best to learn from, and I'd finish third behind those two guys any day of the week. So, thank you to Five Kings Motorsports and Five Kings Network for all y'all do with the broadcast, and just this whole league. I appreciate everybody that runs in it every Thursday night, and all our fans, and um, my wife and little girl for letting me have time to play a simulator game.
There you have it, folks. Aaron Adcock, and shout out to the wife and the little girl. Those are the unsung heroes behind all of us drivers. That's Aaron Adcock, driver of the number 17. Finished at P3, number third spot on the podium. Aaron, we'll see you next week at Richmond, brother.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. I know that went a little bit long, but we wanted to make sure folks knew where to reach this series at on Facebook. Race winner from last week, Ray Rogers, number 51. He was following that five truck. I thought he was just waiting to pounce due to the draft. Ray, this is Tanner Marr, Five Kings Network in the booth. You got copy.
Absolutely, man.
So I was watching it, Ray, and it seemed like there was one time with about five to go that McLean car kind of stepped out on him a little bit. And I thought, okay, since he didn't try to make the move there, Ray's just going to try to follow to the last lap. Talk me through the last 10 or so laps when you were right on the back of that five machine.
Yeah, I could have passed when he made that little bobble right there, and I actually thought I was going to have to make that pass, but Chris is a really good guy. He'd do anything for you. He's helped me a lot on here, and he's actually going to miss next week.
Yeah, I
So, and
know.
this was a win-win for him. So, I told my team, I was like, if I got an opportunity, I'm going to help him because I hate to see him fall out because of one race, and he's made it this far. So, it was very fortunate enough when we came out of that pits on the last caution, I was able to get in behind him and push him. But I kept telling, I was like, man, Aaron's catching me. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, do I pass him or what do
Right.
I do when Aaron catches me?
So it sounds like you and Chris are basically like us over at our team. So, I mean, we'll follow each other, we'll push each other. But that last half a lap or whatever, the gloves come off, and it looked like you were going to have the momentum to get to Chris, but ultimately Chris missing next week at Richmond. He was in a do or die must win. So kudos for you to push that driver, that number 5, up to the win. It was still an interesting race, Ray. And I mean, you put on a show, buddy. You came from the very back. Did you elect to not qualify? Well, why didn't you qualify tonight?
Well, usually like on these bigger tracks like this, and it's not like you're going to go a lap down or anything like that. I like to get back there and ride, kind of get a feel of how the field is. Are they driving aggressive or just got to get an idea of how things are going. And once I realized, these guys, and they all do, they all drive really well.
Right.
And so once I kind of figured out, okay, this is gonna go green, I decided to go ahead and start making my way up there, and I had a really good pit stop, so I came out sixth or seventh. So I made up quite a few spots there and got towards the front, and just had a blast up there.
Right on, buddy. And I tell you, I would love to be out on track with y'all because y'all race each other. Y'all all race hard, but y'all are clean. It's amazing calling the action. So I enjoy watching it. I would enjoy racing it, but I do enjoy calling it. As Ray Rogers brought home P2, last week's winner. Fell up one spot short to Chris McLean this week. Ray Rogers, you got any sponsors you want to throw out there?
Well, just thanks to Apex. Those guys, they worked really hard to get this league started, and it's a pleasure to run with these guys. They're a lot of fun. They're clean racers. Everybody's learning from everybody, so it's a lot of fun to race with these guys. And want to thank you, Five Kings Motorsport Network, for taking the time to come out here, and also thank my wife to allow me to get in here and do this at nighttime.
Right.
It's a blessing.
That's what I told Adcock. I was like, the unsung heroes is the family behind us because it's sim racing. Yes, it's not real life racing, but we love it. It's a hobby of ours, and we devote a lot of time to it. But that's Ray Rogers driving the number 51, trying to punch his ticket into the championship 4. We head to Richmond next week, Ray Rogers. Congratulations on P2, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you next week, brother.
All right, bud. Take care, man.
Yes, sir. And then there was just one. Chris McLean, he was in a must win situation tonight. Due to circumstances, I don't know why, it don't matter. Because his ticket is now punched to the championship 4. He will not be at Richmond next week, but that does not matter at all. Chris McLean, this is Tanner Marr in the Five Kings Net Worth booth. You got a copy.
I got you, man.
Chris, man, I watched you. You were the class of the field from lap 1. You didn't qualify on the pole, but it took 3 laps, and you were hounding Paul Cox right there. And then once you got by Paul Cox, I mean, it was pretty much just smooth sailing for you. Yes, pit strategy kind of cycled you back a little bit, but you took those 4 fresh tires, made the right pit call, got yourself back up front. Talk me through your race.
Yeah, man. I was just got in qualifying, and I just knew I had to put down a decent lap. I didn't really have to qualify on the pole. Pretty good here at Michigan, but I wanted to put in up a good time and not have to be there in the back and worry about getting caught up in some
Right, right,
somebody else's mess up. But yeah, that first initial start there, we were side by side for a lap or two, and then the caution come out, and I actually told my teammate, I said, if I can't get by him, within the first lap or two, I'm just gonna ride just because tires, you eat up the tires here so much. But just them cautions, man, we just couldn't get no green. I really hated to see that. I wanted a long green flag run and couple green flag cycles, and it would have been a lot better. But chose there, seemed like we was going to get one, but we got a caution. So I chose to go in and just take fuel only. And sure enough, we got another quick caution. So I was thinking that was going to be the end of the caution. So we was going to have a long run. And I went
right.
and got tires and cycled back. And I mean, I was right back up there within a couple of laps, but uh, ended up caution come out again. So I go in and decide I was at the last minute. I had a feeling there was going to be a late race caution, and if I took tires then, I wasn't going to have a set to put on that last caution, and that was going to seal my fate. So
Right.
I decided to uncheck my tires. I ended up not getting the right side unchecked, so I took two, and that's why I was a little free there on that run. But I was able to hang with the leaders there through that run on the two-tire cycle,
That's
and then I
impressive.
decided, yeah, I didn't even realize it till I went back in for that last green flag cycle, and I wanted to make it, just to where I could make it on fuel. So I decided to short pit, and then that's when I realized that I didn't have but one set left for the right side. So
I had to my bed was made then. You
Right.
know, I just had to. And when I come out of the pits, I was giving it all she had, and I ended up cycling ahead of Ray, but I used up my tires a little bit, and for whatever reason, you know, I know it's a little tough to pass here on the inside. I just protected that outside, and I think that's partially why Ray didn't ever make the move. I didn't know if he'd ever be able to clear me, but I had a couple little deals there where I bobbled, and
Yep.
you know, he was able to get to my inside, and I don't know for whatever reason, you know, he didn't try to battle me. I know he's a real clean racer, and he's very conservative. It's all, you know, he's always, you know, thinks about the pros and the cons, and I don't know if he just didn't want to get up there and risk getting in a wreck, or he was helping me out because he didn't know I was gonna make the race next week, which is my best track, and I know he wants to battle for the championship. So whatever the case may be, I appreciate Ray and a clean race, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, we spoke with Ray, and so part of it was that you wasn't gonna make the race, but he was still going for the win. And I basically called it on the broadcast. I said I pretty much think Ray don't want to lead until the last lap because Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you ever feel like a sitting duck just because of the draft? Like because he could fall back and then suck right up to you. Draft seemed fairly heavy tonight.
Right? Yeah, yeah, I did, and I knew that was going to be a factor. And to be honest with you, I had this race played out in my mind as being, you know, either it's hard to do, but kind of how I did there in the beginning, kind of check out on the field and not have to worry about the draft as much, or I wanted to be running second and be able to be the one to
Right,
make the move at the
right.
end. But I didn't want it being that I was, you know, because I pitted a little before Ray, and I really used my tires up trying to get ahead of him, and uh, I didn't want to give it up to him because I was if he ever got out front, I wasn't going to be able to do anything with him other than what he was doing, you know, just ride his bumper. But the draft's really really heavy here, and you know I don't know I didn't have the tire to be able to get behind him. And I mean, I would probably been able to stay with him, but I wouldn't have been able to get
Right,
to his
right.
inside and complete the pass because, you know, the bottom, once the tires wears out, it's just
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
do when somebody's running that top.
Yeah, exactly right. But I mean, regardless, textbook night of racing. Not only for you, yes, you won the race, but man, I broadcasted 2 races thus far. I love this series. I look forward to Thursday nights, Chris. You're one of the reasons why you put on a show the last 2 weeks. Though you're not going to be here for Richmond. Where's the championship race at?
It's at Phoenix.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So if I heard that Richmond's one of your best tracks, I'll have to cycle over to Phoenix, and that's going to be one of your better tracks, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty decent at Phoenix. It's probably not my track of choice for the championship. If I had my choice, it'd be Richmond. But
Yeah, yeah.
I hate I'm gonna miss next week because I know, you know, me and Ray and Aaron and, you know, a couple of other guys, not to leave anybody out, but
Right.
it'd be a show. It's always a good time at Richmond.
Well, right on, buddy. But regardless, you have punched your ticket. You're in the round of 4 championship race. Chris McLean, winner of the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150. Chris, before we cut you loose, you got any sponsors or shout outs you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to this Apex League, man. They do a great job, and it's still a building league. I mean, it's fresh. It's gonna get a lot better. This is just a taste of what's to come. And uh, you know, Po Man Motorsports, all them guys over there. It's a lot of fun racing with them. What Up Motorsports? They brought me in, took me on the wing, taught me a lot. Five Kings Network, Ray, Aaron, Tracy, man, everybody. It's always good fun. Chuck, it's just a blast, man.
Right on. There you have it. That's race winner from the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150. Chris McLean won the MS Racing Designs Best Paint last week. Followed it up with a race win here tonight. Chris, we'll be here calling action at Phoenix, buddy. Enjoy your little off week, and we'll see you then at the championship race.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. All right, folks, there you have it. Chris McLean brought it home, P1. We're going to pull up the results real quick, and then we're going to skedazzle on out of here. We want to thank y'all for sticking with us. And now, before we get to the results, I do want to apologize. I'm sorry I've been up here in the booth by myself the past 2 weeks. Like I said during the race, I've been having my 2 people that normally call the races with me. They've been sick, and then tonight they were watching football, so I told them it's okay, I'll handle it. And then my wisdom teeth on top of all that. So I do apologize. The energy and all that wasn't there, but not to take anything away from these drivers because this Apex Sim Racing E Series, they put on a really good show. Aaron Adcock has worked to the bone on putting this series together. So shout out to him. Shout out to Apex for sponsoring the series. Let's get on to these results. So we got Chris McLean, like I said, brought it home P1. Ray Rogers, Aaron Adcock, Chuck Phelps, Paul Cox. That's running out your top 5 finishers. Garrett Kinder, Christopher Heiner, Alex Veith, Tracy Passons, Eric Bulkhalter. That's running out your top 10. Finishing P11th, one spot out of the top 10. That's Mike Veith in the number 9 machine, winner of the MF Racing Designs Best Paint Scheme of the Night. Then the driver out of Last Chance Racing, Matt Rogers, brought it home P12. Aaron Mr. Butters, 13. Justin Miller from 1 Inch Designs, 14th. Josh Lokenvent saw him get out there and got to the lead, led some laps. Made a bad call on pit strategy, just took a gamble, and it didn't pay off this time. He's going to bring it home P15. Kyle Roberts, William Griffith, Todd Shajolt. That's your 16th through 18th finisher. And now as we cycle down one more time and try to see. Okay, that's everybody, right? No, Charles Stevens Jr., excuse me, finished 19th. But folks, there you have it. We will be at Richmond going short track racing next week. So that's always going to be exciting. I mean, gotta say, I love me some short track racing. But for the Apex Sim Racing Automakers 150, on behalf of Tanner Marr from 5 Kings Motorsports, 5 Kings Network, I want to thank y'all for coming on board. Thank you, Aaron, for allowing us to broadcast this series. Until next week at Richmond, it'll be the same time, the same place. We'll see ya.